Hello there, Salim Omar here from the eCommerce Money Map podcast. Welcome to another episode. We've got a special guest with us. His name is Hemant Varshney. Hemant, welcome, man.
Salim, thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so looking forward to drilling in and picking your brain on various different aspects. But before I do that, a very short, quick bio on Hemant. He's a top producer, senior executive with 14 plus years of expertise leading various teams in strategic business planning, digital marketing, product development, and innovation to record-breaking revenue and growth targets within large-size Fortune 500 companies, as well as hyper-growth startups. He's high energy, a resilient thought leader with strong acumen for a product and marketing role at the executive level. He's the owner, the founder of a company called Digicom. It's an award-winning advertising agency that has 15 team members. And in 2022, they worked with 50 partners, clients, managing $10 million in media while retaining 82% of their clients. Hemant, I am so looking forward to this. I'm going to ask you questions kind of, on the marketing side, want to learn about some of the stuff you guys are doing on the marketing side, and then just kind of business. Operating a business, some of the challenges that you've faced. So I want to start off with what's been the biggest challenge that you're facing as a business owner, and how are you tackling it?
Sure. So when I think about my business, I think about a little bit of a seesaw. When I say seesaw, I mean there's the part of the business where we're going out and looking to secure new partners and work with new partners. And then the other part of it is ensuring that we're hiring and retaining talent that can help support the fulfillment of some of the new businesses we're bringing in. When I'm thinking about, how do we position ourselves in the market? There's so many agencies, out there. We predominantly work with e-commerce businesses. We do some work with smaller businesses like doctors' offices or lawyers, but I would say 98% of our portfolio is e-commerce businesses. And so because of these folks are venture backed, it's important for us to employ a strategy where we're positioning ourselves as a leader. And so certain things we're doing, if we have speaking events, we're speaking on panels, we're leveraging LinkedIn to distribute a lot of content. And when I say content, I mean content that's specific to marketing, to e-commerce. And then on the back end of it, what does fulfillment look like? So I have two business partners, Mikey and Danielle. And the way we kind of structured the business, which is very different from other agencies, it's that one of the three partners is always working on one of the ad accounts in one way or the other. And so that's important to the end client. And what that does is when we're onboarding new team members, it allows us to work alongside them, whether they're junior or senior. Typically, we like to hire folks that are at the manager level or hire mid-tier, mid-career folks that have experience. And with us working directly with the team members, we're able to show them and teach them how we run media, how we manage our partners, and how we can deliver the best service possible. And I think that's very important to always try to deliver the best service possible for our partners.
Yeah. And so, as you're growing from a client standpoint and bringing in new clients, you want to make sure that you've got the bench, that you've got the team in place that can service those clients. So it's really always that balancing act, right? In making sure you're doing it right. Because if you have too much staff and then it's like too much on the team, then, that's cutting into the net profit as well, right? So,
yeah, it's always a balancing act. Or if you're, onboarding too quickly, then, you need the team to support. But the thing is, if you're onboarding too quickly, your team might not be up to speed. And so you won't provide the best service. So we internally have a math equation we use that once we get to about 80% capacity across our team, we look to hire the next person.
Got it. Yeah. So what's the one thing that you're doing that you didn't expect you'd be doing? Like, what was the kind of the shift there in a way when you started your business and what you ended up doing?
Yeah, so I think a skill set or, something that I've been working on the last couple of years is a lot more public speaking and getting our messaging out there. But also providing valuable information to business owners. You could be in e-commerce, you can be in a whole different vertical, but just providing and speaking to business owners as to strategies they can leverage through marketing to help their businesses grow. And I've been doing that a lot more and have been really working, on the skill set.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that was kind of getting out of your comfort zone in a way.
Oh, definitely. It took me, a few years to get here, and I think there's still things that I can improve on, or a better way to deliver a message, or captivate an audience. There's so much in public speaking that I'm still learning.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the best path to grow an e-commerce business?
Sure. So there are a lot of different strategies, but I think content distribution and setting up your accounts. So when I say accounts, I mean setting up that Instagram account for your business, setting up that LinkedIn account, TikTok, and starting to develop content and then distributing it across all of the different platforms at first without running paid ads behind it. Oftentimes, a lot of consumer behavior today, whether you're service-based or you have tangible product, folks are going to go look for reviews. They're going to look for your socials and just to see, are you an operating business? How is your service? What type of content are you putting out there? And for us, a lot, if not the majority of our content is all education based, and it's all to teach folks how to run marketing campaigns, how to optimize, how to, better that user journey for their end consumer.
Yeah, yeah. Give us some tips on creating content. I mean, it can be time consuming, or it can be, it can be creating content that's interesting, that's going to get consumed. Yeah.
So I think when a lot of folks think about creating content, say you have 1 hour, right now, and you create a piece of content and then you go out and put that piece of content into market, right? And so it took you an hour. And I think a strategy that can help a lot of business owners, it's instead of taking that 1 hour to create one piece of content, spend the first half an hour creating the body of your content, and then the next half an hour creating different hooks. If this is video-based content, right? So like, say we're talking about marketing services. So the main part of it is talking about the essential marketing service. And then the other 30 minutes that we're recording, it's all the different hooks. You can talk about the benefits. You can talk about pricing. You can talk about testimonials. And then what you can do is take the different hooks and stitch it on to the main body of content. And now instead of having one piece of content, you can have 5, you can have 6, you can have 7. And you can test those content pieces in market to see what messaging better resonates with your client.
Love that. Yeah. So instead of one piece, it becomes 5 or 7 pieces of content.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Any advice on whether to use video, written, audio?
Okay. So first, I guess the first part of all of it is it depends on what type of business you are, but more importantly, what your marketing strategy is. So it's also important to collect data across each of the different content styles, right? So sometimes we'll be running ads for partners where we have several different types of video, and then we start running static assets, and we'll find that static assets drive a better ROI than the video assets do. And so then we'll pivot over. We also run content-based campaigns, which we drive folks to articles, and we'll see higher conversion rates, but lower click-through rates, right? So it's all about calculating ROI and comparing one against each other in each part of the funnel.
So the last few years, we've heard a lot about this phrase influencer marketing. What is it and how can it be applied to grow an e-commerce company?
Sure. So influencer marketing in a nutshell, it's working with content creators that develop creative assets, right? That could be a static, it could be a video, it could be a GIF, where they are essentially endorsing your product giving it a review, talking about the benefits, the features, what they like about it. And then in terms of the distribution strategy, there's several different distribution strategies, but the two main ones, it's the influencer takes a picture with your product and then posts it on their social accounts. And that, depending on how big their following is, can generate sales. And then the second distribution strategy, which we leverage, it's paid media. So we will take that creative that the influencer developed and then run paid media against it and then compare how that creative is, like, compare the overall data between that creative and the other creatives to see which outperforms.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you're a big believer of, really, being very data driven, like making decisions based on data. Just quickly, why has it been so important for you?
Sure. So I think it helps us, one, with transparency with the partner. So with the data, we're able to show our partners, here's what's working, here's what's not, here's the part of the funnel that's working, here's the part of the funnel that, we need to continue building on. And it helps us goal set against the part of the funnel we need to work on. So for example, if we take a beauty client and that beauty client has a 1% conversion rate, but the market benchmark for beauty clients that have similar products, it's 4.5%. We, through some Google research, you can always find out what the benchmarks are. Then that can inform your marketing team, your engineering team to work on the conversion rate. Like, why is conversion rate low? Can a user check out easily? There's a multitude of different things we can do by looking at the data and goal set to improve each part of the funnel. As you continue to improve each part of the funnel, your ROI will improve.
Share with us a few strategies on how to improve conversion rates.
Yeah. So to improve conversion rates, I would say, we should first be looking at our website and then, similar to what we were just talking about, understanding where our conversion rates currently are. Then comparing that to a benchmark. You can segment a website conversion rate from an overall conversion rate to what's the view product rate, what's the add to cart rate, what's the initiate checkout rate, and break out that funnel, right? Once that funnel's broken out, we can compare that to benchmarks. And if we see that folks add to cart, but they get to the initiate checkout page and jump off, then what's the reasoning there? Is there a technical issue? Can people easily input their information? Are we asking them to input way too much information that's not necessary? If a product's $8 and we're charging the user $8 for shipping, does that make sense? There are a lot of different conversion rate tests that we can run, but it's important to understand the conversion funnel, break that down, and then run tests to improve that part of the funnel.
This is so good. So much good information that you're sharing. Really appreciate it, Hemant. A couple more questions before we wrap up.
Sure.
Social media. How can one use social media platforms to grow an e-commerce business?
Yeah. So I think, one of the most important things is to be set up across all your social media accounts. Have a social media content calendar where you are focusing on continuously sharing specific information about your products, the benefits. Maybe it's working with influencers or maybe a celebrity endorsement, something of that nature. Continue to post and build your following. Again, the big reason here is because somebody might be looking for your services and comparing you to another competitor. And because of your social media following and the information there, your reviews, the end consumer might opt to work with you over somebody else. So, that's one way. The other way is you can, of course, run paid ads against your social media. So taking some of that content to drive conversions for your business.
Yeah. Do you normally see the need to work with all different channels, meaning paid ads, organic, social media, email nurture, and so forth? Are you combining and integrating all of that when working with a partner or client?
Yeah, so there's some partnerships where we're just managing Facebook, Instagram, other partners where it's Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, like a multitude of different platforms. And then some partners were helping them with email. At the end of the day, it's all connected. We live in a digital world, right? And so a user might see an ad first. They've maybe never heard of your brand, click on the ad, like the product, exit it out. Then they're like, oh, I like this product. Maybe I want to buy it. They Google, your name, you appear. They click, they enter into your CRM, and then they get a coupon and they convert, right? So it's all connected. And I think, in the world of digital, especially digital marketing and paid marketing, attribution is always like the age old adage where, people are trying to figure out how to attribute. But the thing is that if we can have solid programs that are working with each other and all like across a multitude of different channels, then the business has a better rate, a better chance of driving a lower acquisition cost, increasing revenue, and having an overall better ROI.
Great. Something I didn't ask you that I should have asked you. Any last bit of advice?
Any last bit of advice? I think that if you are going to, try something, I would advise to test and learn and do it sooner than later. Of course, there are some constraints, right? Maybe it's a cash constraint or right now is not the time, or an engineering constraint. But if there's an ability for you to test and learn, I would say test and learn sooner across your business, because if something doesn't work, okay, dissect why it doesn't work. And if it works, how do we improve on it? And I think that's very important in terms of building the business and growing, a program internally or externally.
And when you say testing, you're talking about A/B testing, yeah? An offer with different calls to action, or an offer with different subject lines, or with different hooks.
Yep. So I'm saying testing more from like an overall business perspective. It's the marketing in me. So for example, if, you can A/B test your subject line and your creatives, but for example, say you need to hire new folks, right? And you've traditionally used Indeed and you maybe don't find the best candidates, or it's hard for you to sift through all the candidates for the volume. You can also spend some time on a different platform if you're thinking about it. And, if it's a low barrier to entry, why not, try something else that might yield better results? If you spend 50% of your time on one platform, 50% of your time on another platform, you might find the other platform might work better for your business needs. So again, A/B testing, but it's outside of just marketing. So there's so many other opportunities for businesses to optimize their business flow, their efficiencies, how they operate. And I think it's good to be open-minded to test these new avenues to help your overall business.
Yeah. Hemant, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you?
Sure. Please feel free to check out our website. It's digicom.io, or shoot me an email at hemant@digicom.io.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, man. This was amazing. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You take care.
Bye.